Assalamu alaikum, Shahzad Shamshad here with Unit 2.3 of your second class. And as you might have noticed that earlier we did stress a lot on listening, how important it is. If it is not of good quality, it itself becomes a barrier to communication. So Unit 2.3, the topic is effective listening skills, how to develop yourself into a good listener and therefore improve the quality of your listening. They say that your response, the quality of your response, totally depends on the quality of your listening. So let's see. Usually, people think that they're good listeners. Just ask anyone, and they will tell you that they are good listeners. But in reality, this is not the case with most of us due to many reasons that we will see now. So, just let me get things correct here. Little issue. Let me just get it right. Okay, all set now. Okay. As I have said earlier, and just now also, that listening skills play an integral part in the success of our professional and personal communication. Now, the reality is, it has been researched that most of us listen at 25% to 50% efficiency. This also means that when we are not good listeners, we don't also remember the 75% or 50% of the conversation that actually happened. And within 2, 3 days, we very quickly tend to forget, which I often see in face to face classes. I have a typical method of just checking what remains in a student's mind from last week. So every week, I just ask a few questions about last week, or sometimes just ask students what do they remember from last week. And the results are very much they match to this 25% to 50% efficiency. Why does this happen? Okay. There are several barriers to the communication process which we must overcome to become effective listeners and speakers. But as I said earlier, our speaking depends on our listening first. So when we look at the barriers, we will understand that why we operate at uh, 25% or only 50% efficiency when it comes to listening. Okay, these are strategies for improving listening skills. So automatically we will understand what goes wrong actually. Stop talking. It means we talk a lot. We listen less and we talk more. So the first guideline here is let the other people talk and listen to them. I know for some of us it is rather difficult, but please understand that you gain more by talking less. So, first guideline talk less, listen more. Control your surroundings, which means that if there is some barrier, which we have already discussed, which impedes your listening, there is a barrier in the environment. It could just be the noise of a rickshaw, the noise of a drill machine, very loud music, and you know that it's interfering with your listening. Do something about eliminating these barriers. If you cannot do anything to stop these noises, then the best thing is to move out of that environment, go to a quieter place, and there have your conversation. Even if that is not possible, I would suggest that then it's better to start communicating through texting. At least you'll be able to receive the messages properly. Be receptive and keep an open mind. Now, these terms have been used a lot, but do we actually see people practicing it? Keeping an open mind, which means if somebody has begun to say something which clashes with your perception, so instead of immediately getting alarmed about it and uh, going into a conflict, telling the other person, you're wrong, don't say this, let him complete. Let him speak and try to find something that is meaningful for you still. Listen for main points. When people speak, and this happens in communication, there is always a main point, and rest of the information is built around that point, either to support that point or to explain more about it. People give, some people have a habit of giving a lot of details. So what you need to do is when you are listening, always be on the lookout for the main point. So it will be very easy for you to filter out all the other details, which some of them might be unnecessary. And even if they are necessary, just pick up what is the person trying to say? What is the main idea? For example, when you are communicating, there is a main idea, which is your objective. Remember, we talked about setting the objective, your utility, which utility. Similarly, the other person also is communicating with you to achieve a certain objective. He has a main point somewhere. So immediately grasp that main point. It'll keep you focused and it will keep you on track. Now, digressing a little, whatever we have studied by now, and especially when it relates to interpersonal communication, don't just treat it as theory, as concepts. Now, start observing all of this happening when you communicate with people. Try to identify certain barriers that might be there. What other people may do to remove these barriers or to handle those barriers. If someone around you, which is rare, is a very good listener, now try to see which listening strategies does he employ. Identify, does he talk less? Identify, does he handle physical barriers around them? Does he listen to you with a very open mind? Uh, Capitalize on lag time. Now, what is lag time? Lag means a gap. Your mind is very fast. The speed of your brain is much faster than the speed at which anybody speaks to you. So, capitalizing on the lag time means that as you are listening to people, in between they do take a gap also, and even if they do not, your brain, as I said, is faster. Use that time to analyze, picking up the main point, for example, summarizing what he has said up till now, uh, also uh, try to make a mental note of something he has said, which you will deal with when it's your turn to speak. So, this is what it means that there is a lag time in conversation. Use that lag time to use your brain. Think about what he has said, why he has said it, what is his interest. And during this lag time, you will be able to, as they say, listen between the lines. Now, listening between the lines can be explained very easily by uh, asking yourself, why is somebody saying something? So there is a what, he is saying something, that is what he is saying. But then why is he saying something is listening between the lines. You get to know their uh, agenda. Judge ideas, not appearances. We become judgmental if somebody does not have a very charismatic personality. We label him even before we have listened to him, that what is he going to say of any importance, because he's not dressed very nicely, he looks shabby, uh, he looks he speaks in an accent which is not very very uh, stylish, for example. So this is what it means, that only focus on the information, the ideas that this person is transporting towards you. Avoid interruptions. And why do we interrupt? We sometimes assume that we know what is the other person going to say, the biggest cause of interruption. And this assumption spoils the quality of communication. Let them complete. You do not know actually what will they say in the next 5, 10 seconds. So just interrupting us based on the assumption that you know what are they about to say, no. Let people complete what they are saying, and you will find out that again this will make you talk less also. So this is, it's all interconnected. When you talk less, you let people complete, you avoid interruptions. Take selective notes to ensure attention if you are in a professional communication. Selective notes. Now, this is very interesting. In face-to-face classes, in the first class, I tell my students to close their notebooks, put away their pencils. And since we are so used to noting down everything that the teacher says, it is quite a shock, quite a surprise for them. And then I practically teach them how to take selective notes. If you're writing down everything that the other person is saying, it is not actually going into your brain. You become a transcriber. You say something, you write it. That's it. The mental process, the listening between the lines, the picking up the main idea, that doesn't happen. And that is why a very practical manifestation of what goes wrong when you write everything, as I just said, when I ask questions the next week from my students, and some of them they just look at me blankly, you know what I do? I tell them, Go into your notebook. I'm sure you must have written down everything. And then they actually flip through the pages, they go back in their notebook. It's there. And then they, understand what I meant when I said do not write down everything. You make selective notes, which means in a meeting, in a class, anywhere in a professional background where you do need to take notes, what do? You listen, you analyze between the lines, picking up the main idea, and then you just write one little note, which is your understanding. That's it. When you look at that note again after a week, even, you will remember everything because you were listening at a very high efficiency percentage. So that little note is good enough. So, uh, to make it very real for the students, I tell them that at the end of your semester, for example, your notes for one course should not be more than 5 pages, which means 2 or 3 or 4 notes points for one class. Use your you need to identify, you need to appreciate the amazing ability of your brain. And when you are listening, actually, it's your brain that needs to function more and not your fingers which are writing down everything. So this is something very important. Try doing it, and you will see the amazing results, the the high intensity with which things will remain in your mind because you've processed them when you were listening. Okay. Provide feedback and confirmation when you have listened to something. Tell them what have you understood. So if there is any gap, if you actually have not understood something correctly, then the speaker will rephrase for it, will may give you another couple of examples, and then your understanding would be complete. So it is for your benefit providing feedback. Providing feedback here only means to tell the other person, this is what I have understood from what you have said. And any gaps then will be filled in by the speaker. So there we are, I guess. Oops. Yes, this was strategies for effective listening. Please apply them. Again and again, I'll keep on telling you that whatever you learn here is not theory or concepts which are not related to the real life. And the actual essence of being in a communication course is to keep on applying whatever you come across. Observe people communicating. And on your part, start developing all these skills. Today, in depth, we've talked about listening skills. I expect you to immediately start applying them and see how the results will improve, how you will actually be amazed that what happens when you become a good listener. So with that, adios. for Unit 2.3. These lectures will continue right up to week 7. So, bye bye from me. Take care, all of you.